San Pedranos were still reeling from the most recent fire in the DFC subdivision of the island, where back in June, a raging inferno killed 4 persons from the Nunes family when the Boca del Rio flames erupted. But in June of 2014, an overnight fire in San Pedro left 16 families homeless. 2 years later, the human impact of another massive fire on Pescador Drive in the heart of the island town saw 88 persons homeless in June 2016. This weekend's blaze was similar, as images of the hellish ordeal remain etched in the minds of the 87 victims and continue to flood social media. In the wake of the inferno, an emergency meeting with NEMO and Town Council was held on the island.
As we speak, most of them are staying at Hope Haven. They cannot stay there forever. So within another day or two, they will be sorting out the situation, especially the renters will have the opportunity to go and find other place to rent. And NEMO have some standard packages that we'll be able to have for them maybe as early as Monday, sometime Monday or Tuesday, in terms of mattresses, sheets, food packs, stove, and gas tanks, so that they could at least be able to have some mattress to sleep on, some bedding, and something to cook.
The incident has also brought into sharp focus the issue of proper urban development planning. The distance between structures within a block are small, and it allowed for the fire to spread quickly. As a result, there will be new building codes implemented in the wake of this tragedy.
When wooden structures, or any structure for that matter, is too close together, and one of them is set on fire, then radiant heat and direct flame contact will cause the fire to spread rapidly through the neighborhood.
When it comes to fires, we have been facing problems, for example, with the planning issues, how the island was growing. And unfortunately, the island never had a plan, to be honest, to how it was growing. So coincidentally, yesterday morning we had a meeting with the building unit, because if you notice, the Housing and Planning Act was amended, and now we don't have a local building authority. Now we have a building unit department that's within the council. And yesterday morning we had a meeting. The fire chief was there, and Mr. Butner, he was there, and we were talking about these issues about the congestion and how in one lot you can have 5 houses, and that has to stop. Any lot can only have 1 house, and you have to have your proper setbacks the way the Act asks for it, and we have to make sure that it's good for cross-air ventilation, and it's also good for the firemen to go in to fight the fires.
Residents are also being asked to join in the training program of the National Fire Service to become part of its voluntary element to assist in times of disasters like these. NEMA Minister Edmund Castro says that new trucks are also in the pipeline. But are all these plans a little too late after repeated fire casualties?
We are presently working with BTL as we now speak, who have offered to assist a few weeks ago. And we have working with them to get a unit for the island. That is on the table. 2 units, for the island. That is on the table. And a tack truck and a Bowser truck. That is presently on the table. And in a few months that should materialize, and that should be on the island. There's no secret that the units out here are old. Older than most owner here are standing up, and should have been replaced long ago. There's no secret about that. But we are trying our very best to try to get that sorted out.
We are in the process right now of seeing how we can improve the level of service to the island. We have reached out to the Town Council, and also we are seeing how we will be able to get some of those people who always want to volunteer to come in and get trained by the fire department.
But is it a little too late for now a reaction to be made, given the fact that in the past maybe 1.5 to 2 years, there have been 4 massive fires on the island. The previous one 2 months ago, 4 people died. Like, what does it need to trigger some kind of change? Because they seem like they've been asking for it.
It could never be too late. It's like you getting $100 that was promised to you today, but you get it tomorrow. It's never too late. The money's still good. The fire department is doing what the fire department can do, and we have in the pipeline, 2 trucks.
For one resident, that is not good enough. Jorge Aldana, whose sister and family lost everything in the blaze, says the fire department on the island is grossly incompetent and that heads should roll because, in his opinion, the fire could have been contained, preventing millions of dollars in losses.
There is absolutely no excuse to say that they couldn't use water from the lagoon. There is absolutely no excuse. And to say that they couldn't even handle a pump, then I think heads need to roll. I'm sorry, how many fire needs to occur so that we could get this right? A fire occurred here in Boca del Rio 3 years ago. We had the same issue. There was a fire 2 years ago in the downtown area. The same issue. We had a fire that claimed the life of a few people on the island. The same issue. How many fire need to occur so that the fire department get their act together and stop blaming volunteers and stop blaming the faulty equipment? Their people need to be adequately trained how to handle these large fires. That's the bottom line. There is absolutely no excuse for them not to have contained this fire on time. The water is 20 feet away from the fire. What kind of excuse can you invent? No, can't tell me no fool about the truck's old and the pump couldn't work. Then heads need for roll from the top right down to the bottom. From the fire chief need to get act together.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.